has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast. Don't forget to catch NHL Today Fridays at 2 o'clock with Carver High on SportsGrid. We continue on into hour 2 here on C2C with more NBA rack talk.
More NBA rack talk indeed. And I actually want to start here. I'm going to just jump up a bit. I'm going to go back to the Knicks in a second. But I'll start with the Kings and the Nets last night because this plays into the spew news that I am about to tell you. Kings beat the Nets 110-96 across the river in Brooklyn. But just coming down now, Scotty, is this is from Sham Charania of ESPN. The Kings are expected to open up talks to deal De'Aaron Fox ahead of next week's February 6th trade deadline. There will be plenty of suitors, but it's believed that Fox has a target destination in mind ahead of 2026 free agency. Kings, Sacramento, looking to deal him before next Thursday, Scotty. That's a big name that could move, that's for sure.
I mean, look, that's, obviously, and I had seen it, it's enormous news because at some level, I don't know if it's a mistake or if it's the garden's going to start growing, right? You know what I mean? Like, they're going to get some pieces for this guy, and it might make them even better if they do it. So I don't know whether to, cry or whatever, because I think he's got mad game, and I think when you have a guy like Fox with Sabonis, you got the two pieces you need. It's everything else you need to figure out. But you're going to get rid of this superstar. He is a superstar. This guy can flat out play, and at some level, I think they will get, commodities for him. Look, I'm just crazy, but I don't think that, Jimmy Butler's going to every team in the league, right? But listen, you want to trade De'Aaron Fox to the Miami Heat for Jimmy Butler? I'd do that by 4:15 right now this afternoon. You want to give me De'Aaron Fox? I'll give you a Butler. I'll give you whatever else you want, too. Because I guarantee you, De'Aaron Fox has got way more game than Jimmy Butler has left in his tank. I know people keep thinking that everywhere that Jimmy Butler is going to go, they're going to win a championship. I will say right now on this show, wherever he goes, they will not. Because he never gets it done in anywhere. I mean, he's been to it, and he loses every time. I mean, let's face facts. Let's get real here. He goes and loses. That's what he does. And I don't even think he's going anymore. They're saying he's going to Phoenix and they're going to win a championship. How in God's name are they winning a championship? They're not winning jack shack in Phoenix. They're not winning anything. They can barely win games. But they're going to win the title because they got Jimmy Butler. You're tripping. Give me De'Aaron Fox for Jimmy Butler, and I'll do the deal in 10 minutes from right now. Not only that, I'll buy you dinner wherever you want. Morton's, Ruth Chris. Where do you want? Del Frisco's. And can we get him some bottles of Veuve Clicquot? We'll send that to the table. Give me De'Aaron Fox for that cancer Butler, and I am all in. Believe me, I can't wait to see what they get in Sacramento for De'Aaron Fox. If they get better or if they screw it up, like that owner has screwed everything else up. The only thing they've done well there at all in basketball is twofold: getting Sabonis and then locking him up and then building that great arena. That's all they've done well. Everything else they've effed up nice and juicy like the Baconator. Trust me, you.
Well, this is definitely an easy one to screw up if you don't get the right return. There's no doubt about that. When you got a star player like Fox,
honestly,
who can fill it up. He dropped 30 again last night, and they were down in that game against the Nets. They were down for a good portion of the night.
You better get a haul for him. I mean, a haul.
Certainly should. Across the river from that last night, the Knicks beat up on the Grizzlies. I mean, 143 to 106. I mean, everyone was getting involved at the Garden last night on MSG.
Saturday against Sacramento. But this is a much better. Oh, what a pass inside! Deuce McBride! What a slam!
Listen, I have told you on a number of occasions that Deuce McBride, Payne, Shamet can shoot the pill. So they have this small bench, and their big end of the bench is awful. Like Sims, to me, I'd rather have Phil Sims playing than Jericho Sims for the Knicks. Literally, old Phil. I like Phil. I would rather have Phil playing for the Knicks. But their short end, their small guys can all shoot. I think Deuce McBride is the three waiting to happen. When Shamet gets going, he can shoot. I don't think he's got anything else. And I actually think Payne, despite being the ugliest man in the league, he can shoot with that funky three release of his. So you get those three guys going. Like last night, they didn't have to use their starters at all in the fourth. They were kicking their ass so badly that they just went with that short bench and all those poppers. These guys can pop from outside. They mean business. I'm seeing positive signs from the Knicks, bench, Mike, where that has been my issue with the Knicks all year long. You cannot win an NBA title with five guys. You have to have a bench. You cannot go 7-game series after one after the next and expect to survive in the NBA. They always lose because they run out of gas. You've got to have, two sets of starters. You have to have two groups that can ball and get burned. It's an absolute must. Like I'm playing last night, right? And I shouldn't be playing in a 45-minute NBA court. So I played in like 8-minute stretches, and then I'd come out for 3 minutes and chill, go back in and start filling it up again. You got to let these guys like Cat, Brunson, all of them, Hart, you just cannot rely on them to play nonstop minutes for 81 games, whatever it is, and then go play in the playoffs and play these deep series. It'll kill you.
Can't have it. Look, they ran out of gas in the second round last year against Indiana. They ran out of gas in that series. Guys getting hurt, etc. Cavs snapped their 3-game losing streak. They beat the Pistons 110-91. Heat beat the Magic in 2 overtimes, 125 to 119. That was a hell of a game. Raptors beat the Pelicans last night. Bulls beat the Nuggets. Figure that one out. Bulls get the win over the Nuggets.
Your boy Voos with a big game.
Voos did have a big game. T-Wolves beat the Hawks by 8. Bucks smashed the Jazz by 25 in Utah. And the Suns beat the Clippers 111-109. So a victory there for Phoenix. Scotty Barnes and Jaren Jackson Jr. named the NBA Players of the Week. We always love to recognize them. The first member of the Warrior Dynasty that's going to get their number retired is Andre Iguodala, getting the big number retirement. Iggy getting involved. As also everyone else still playing, Steph, Clay, etc. But Iggy getting involved with the number retirement. Congratulations.
Iguodala, hell of a player. He was that guy that, off of the bench that gave them titles. Bottom line, man, did that guy take advantage of his burn? He's legend now there.
Hey, you put your number up there. That's what it's all about. All right, we'll come back and I will give you the standings. I have a few other things because there's only 4 games tonight in the NBA. So I'll give you your weekly look at all those things, standings, NBA title, and then 4 tonight, including the Lakers in Philly against the Sixers. And as I told you earlier, Dame time. Back in Portland tonight against the Blazers, who actually haven't been playing that bad, right? I mean, the Blazers have actually been winning some games here and there. They're not going to win tonight, but they have been winning some games here and there along the way.
The way the Bucks have been playing and the way Giannis and Dame Time have been playing, it could be a long night at the Moda.
Could be.
anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Jimmy Butler has spread his cancer all over the Heat, and he has ruined their season. I do believe they'll never recover from this disastrous guy that is, purged on them. I mean, he's ruined. Like, they don't matter anymore at all. Like, I watched them play last night. They suck.
Ferrall, coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
You know, they have a lot of hopes, and they thought last year they were turning the corner. Even early this year, they start turning the corner, and then you lose 13 games in a row.
Edmonton chipped away, got a late goal, won the game 4-3. I felt like they dominated the third period. They moved the puck on that power play. It was an exceptional hockey game. It went over the total.
Only on SportsGrid.
All right, let's look at these standings in the East and the West, Mike.
Yeah, here's where we sit as we hit late January. Most teams now pretty much past the halfway part as we get towards the All-Star break and the trade deadline, etc. Cleveland still at the top in the East, 37-9. Then Boston. Boston's 5.5 games back of Cleveland for the 1 seed. Knicks, 6.5 back. Then Milwaukee, Indiana, Miami. Play-in tournament right now, Orlando, Detroit, Atlanta, Chicago, and then Philly and the rest there on the outside looking in right now.
I mean, at this point, Philly's still, it looks to me like 3 deep. Toronto, it's, even further down. Those teams are shot. I think Brooklyn, Charlotte, D.C. are toast. The only one that's viable to me is Philly because of the talent that they have. Which has just been awful this year. They have not produced at all. They have not really, to me, played ball. I mean, I think they have just let the season slip by, and they have just been a disaster. And I don't want to hear it about Embiid's, status, injuries, otherwise. They got PG, they got Maxey, they got this guy Embiid. You got to be kidding me. They got this, highly expensive coach Nurse that everybody thinks is the greatest thing since sliced bread. I still say I'll never change my opinion. He won because of Kawhi Leonard, not because of him. Okay? I don't believe for a minute. I told you, it's very rare that I give credit to NBA. Frankly, there's very few. To me, these players nowadays in this day and age, in 2025, they don't listen to coaches. They don't listen to anybody. Their wives, they don't listen to anybody. When you're making $200 million, you don't listen to anybody. I mean, you wouldn't listen to the mailman tell you he's got a box for you. I mean, honestly, because you're never wrong. So that setup right there looks like the playoffs to me as is. But I do think there's potential for Miami to blow it because of what Butler's done to them. I think he's ruined their season. The fact that they're a playoff team right now to me is stunning because I saw, glimpses of this guy literally throwing games. Like, have you seen him lately throwing balls out of bounds, shooting air balls? taking terrible shots, knowing he has no chance to make them. He's like purposely trying to destroy the Miami Heat. And he's in this war with Pat Riley. And I don't know what this stubborn old man is thinking. Like, get rid of him already. I mean, he's done. He's done playing in Miami. What are you trying to prove? That you're so old and stubborn here that you're playing this game with him and suspending him every other day. It's not working. Get him the F out of there. He's like the kiss of death. All right, let's look at the West.
Yes, like the Cavs, the Thunder have a good lead on that 1 seed, 37-8, 6 games up on the Houston Rockets, who are now to 2. Houston, Memphis, Denver, Lakers, Clippers would be in the playoffs today. Play in Minnie, Phoenix, Dallas, Sacramento, with Golden State on the outside right now, followed by San Antonio, Portland, etc.
Okay, so like at some level right now, I'm still not buying the Lakers and Clippers. I have more faith in Dallas even with Luka, Kyrie, and Clay and the size they have in the block like they did last year. They went on a run to the final, right? So I have more. They have had no Luka for a while, no Kyrie for a while. They got Kyrie back. But to me, they're dangerous as a play-in team. And I think Minnesota is still dangerous with their talent and depth and coaching and everything else. I'm not buying the Suns, and I'm not buying the Kings, even though they've played really well of late. When you're talking about, we're going to trade De'Aaron Fox at the deadline, to me, that's season over. Okay, bye. Season over. Now, you're going to tell me they're going to send someone to the rescue on a white horse to make them go from that last spot in a play-in to validity? I'm not buying it. The 4 teams at the top of the West are the 4 teams that are going to play, in my opinion, with only one outsider. It's either Dallas or Minnie. Only one outsider will have a shot to dispose of one of those 4. Oak City, Houston, Memphis, and the Denver Nuggets are the 4. That's it. They're the best teams, and they're not changing it unless there's injuries. A bad injury could ruin one of those 4 faster than you could spit. I still think, for my money, it's the Thunder and Rockets. They are that good. They are that good. This is not some kind of facade. This is no joke. They're that good. And you saw some of it last night at the Boston Garden.
That's also why I wanted to show you this today to go piggyback that, and that's the odds to win the title. And we talk about Houston. They're second in the West. Seems like they've beaten the Celtics, the Cavs twice just in the last week alone. Yet the Rockets are still 40-1 to win the title. They're way down there on that list. Celtics and Thunder now both plus 240.
I mean, and okay, so I got to get this right. It's sideways. It's going Boston, Thunder, Cleveland, Denver, Knicks, and then who is that? Dallas?
Yes,
and
Dallas
then Bucks. So, I mean, this is insanity. These numbers are insanity. You cannot leave the Rockets at 40-1 because I'm telling you right now, go and place a bet right now on them at 40-1. If for some reason, if this Sudoku gets this team into the finals and you hit that ticket, you're going to be rich. 40-1, like they are saying they have no shot at all. Meanwhile, last night they just went and had sex with the Celtics in Boston. Okay? So remember last night when you go place that bet because they got a shot. Now, I'll tell you who doesn't have a shot is the Golden State Warriors, the Magic, the Lakers. All those teams, they're bums. They're not the Suns, they're bums. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to add to it. If Butler goes to the Suns, I say they even have a less of a chance than they had today before they got him. They had a better chance right now at 420 in the East than if they add that lymphoma to the roster. That guy is a killer of everything. Coaches, teams, players, cities, airline, the business, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, COVID, fires in California. Jimmy Butler's the cause of all of it.
anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Jimmy Butler has spread his cancer all over the Heat, and he has ruined their season. I do believe they'll never recover from this disastrous guy that is, purged on him. I mean, he's ruined. Like, they don't matter anymore at all. Like, I watched them play last night. They sucked.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
You know, they have a lot of hopes, and they thought last year they were turning the corner. Even early this year, they start turning the corner, and then you lose 13 games in a row.
Edmonton chipped away, got a late goal, won the game 4-3. I felt like they dominated the third period. They moved the puck on that power play. It was an exceptional hockey game. It went over the total.
Only on SportsGrid.
So tonight we got these games in the NBA, and the first one is on TNT, is the Sixer game with the Lakers, and they literally have no size. Philly has nobody playing with any size at all, and the Lakers have won 4 straight, and they're on this road trip, and they won last night. And I just said to you, I kind of think Philly's interesting here tonight, getting 4.5 at the Ferrall Fargo Center in Philadelphia, and it's on national television, and it's now or never for the Sixers. Like, are they ever going to start balling? But with the lineup you just told me that they're putting out on the floor tonight, with the players that they're going with, I see they have no chance. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
What, Maxey going to do it by himself, literally by himself?
It makes you scratch your head that it's 4.5. Like, I get it. The Lakers played last night. They traveled. I guess there's a little advantage there. But no Embiid, no Paul George, no Andre Drummond. Just a bunch of guys. I mean, like you said, no size. Embiid and Drummond alone, not having those guys down low with how good AD was last night and how well he's playing right now. And, it seems like the Sixers should get whacked here tonight, right? Why the hell is it only 4.5 for this game? It just seems very, very sneaky.
Because the Sixers will win. Because the Sixers will win with no one playing. Remember last night, the Flyers, the entire team had diarrhea? They still won big.
Oh, my God.
They won big.
That was the worst.
So the Sixers have no one playing. The Sixers.
Yeah, 218.5's the total. I'm with you. I want nothing to do with it, honestly. It's so fishy, that line. I'll try to get in on it when the game starts. This game's actually a rescheduled game. If you remember, the Hawks were supposed to play the Rockets at home a couple weeks ago when they had that storm roll through Atlanta. So this is the rescheduled from that, January 11th. Rockets off the win in Boston last night, -5.5 on the road in Atlanta. 226.5 is the total for this one tonight. I'm trying to get you the Trey. They got Trey listed as game time for this one tonight.
Look, they have been playing awful lately, and the Rockets have been winning left and right, and they won in Boston last night. How much did that game take a toll on them in the Garden? I say it didn't, because they're young, and they remind me of the Thunder. They're young, and they're fast, and they don't care if they have to play back-to-back. I still got to go Rockets here because the Hawks suck. I mean, I know their record isn't that bad. They're 2 games under 500, but lately, remember how many times have I said on this show that they have played like no home games in a month in Atlanta, and then they go home and they lose every one of them. They've been playing at home now for a week, and a week and a half. They played 3 or 4 games. They lost all of them. I mean, they stink. They just stink right now, and I don't care if Ice Trey's playing. The Rockets are flat out better than them. I still gotta go Rockets.
He's officially questionable with right hamstring tightness, so we'll see what happens.
I don't care anymore who
this
plays.
evening on that.
Golden
State home for the Jazz tonight. Lumber here 13.5 for the Warriors, 227.5 the total.
I don't believe that the Warriors can beat anyone by 14 points. Not even the Jazz. Give me the 14. Yeah. Clarkson at the Golden State will win the game. They won't cover the wood.
Yeah, the Jazz suck. But like you said, that's a lot of lumber for the Warriors with how they
cover
play.
all the time because they get these giant numbers.
And finally, the second half of that TV doubleheader. Bucks are in Portland. Of course, Dame time back there at the Moda. Minus 5.5 for Milwaukee, 229.5 the total.
I mean, you see here, look, Milwaukee by 5. You see the spread at 6, 5.5, whatever it is. I still have to go Bucks here. They've been scoring 125 points a night every time they play. I mean, every time they play. And the Blazers don't. That's just all there is to it. I know they're at home. It doesn't matter to me. I know they have been playing better. They're still 12 games under 500. They're awful. I don't care. The Bucks should go in there with Dame. He should go back there and roast their ass.
Dame time, plus 350 for 35 points tonight, plus 800 for 40 points. If you want to have some fun with Dame time tonight, loading up some big numbers back in Portland.
I would love that 8-1. I told you before, I said he's going between 30 and 40. So if he lands at 40 and you're 8-1, I am all over that.
You can ladder it, 30, 35, 40. Go all the way up the tree.
Give me all
three. All 3 of them.
Jimmy Butler has spread his cancer all over the Heat, and he has ruined their season. I do believe they'll never recover from this disastrous guy that is, purged on them. I mean, he's ruined. Like, they don't matter anymore at all. Like, I watched them play last night. They sucked.
Ferrall, coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line. only on SportsGrid.
Kicking off the second half here, Carver High.
We are kicking off the second half. And if you're a Laker fan out there, I just wanted to let you know this is about, we were doing the De'Aaron Fox story before. Apparently, it has already been decreed. The Lakers are not the destination of choice for De'Aaron Fox. I guess there was some worry that was his destination of choice. But you can rest easy. That is not his destination of choice.
If you lived in Sacramento, no offense, but wouldn't you want to go to, like, Miami after spending all of his years in Sacramento? I mean, honestly. California's nice. Northern California's nice. Some people would think Sacramento isn't so nice. It actually is, but, like, where would you want to go? Like, if you're De'Aaron Fox.
South Beach, baby. I mean, he's looking for that South Beach style. He wants to get down there. Come on. Let's go. We'll see with Fox by next week's trade deadline. All right, let's do some NFL. A lot of coaches were introduced yesterday to their new jobs. And, of course, everyone's coming in and they're ready to change the culture, win the press conference, we got 4 franchises here today. I mean, these are, franchises that have had some tough times, I guess you could say, over the last 10, 20, 30, 40 years. Let's start with the Jets. Here is Aaron Glenn. They are good at winning the press conference, that's for sure. Glenn got everybody all fired up and excited in Florham Park yesterday.
To any players that's here now, put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. Put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. Listen, there are going to be some challenges, but with challenges gets opportunity. But here's what I do know. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa. Tough guy.
That's one way to do it there.
Tough guy. Like
Jets,
Antonio Pierce, the tough guy act.
The Jets, and they're built for it, Aaron Glenn says.
So, for losing. Right. That's what they've done.
They've been built for that. There's no question about it. Aaron Rodgers is a big topic of discussion for, of course, everyone around the Jets. Will he be back? Will he not? It was asked several hundred times yesterday between these 3 jokers that were there. But Aaron Glenn wanted to make sure on the first day on the job, Scotty, that he was going to let the New York media know that he's in charge, and they're not.
Will Aaron Rodgers be your quarterback?
You're going to continue to ask me the same question and get the same answer. We're still in evaluation mode. So for anybody else going to ask that, I'm going to give you the same answer. So don't waste your time. We're clear.
Well, let's answer. What do you look for in a quarterback? Like, what's an Aaron Glenn quarterback?
A winner. A winner. Mental and physical toughness. When you talk about that, you're not going to get me.
Well, let me ask you this. Parcells, I know you guys are close. He always said...
That's Parcells.
Okay.
I'm Aaron Glenn.
Okay, so you don't...
That's Parcells. I'm Aaron Glenn.
Okay.
Yeah, listen, I'm telling you, eventually they get under everyone's skin. It doesn't matter who it is. It literally, Bill Parcells or otherwise, Bill Belichick, he couldn't take it. Nobody can take it. Eventually they all snap. He'll snap too. Like, here's what happens in New York. They lose, and then they get pounced on. And then eventually they suffocate. Like this guy Salah, he's probably out there shaking, drinking wine right out of the bottle after being the Jets coach. He needs like time away from everything. He's got the shakes. He's drinking bottles of wine, eating cheese and crackers just to get over it. Like they torture everyone. Even this interim coach, Ulbrich, he ran too. Like he jumped in the ocean. Like they all eventually snap under the breath of the New York media, which is just halitosis. I mean, they just attack. He's like, you'll never get it out of me. Oh, yeah, they will. They'll get him to snap. Eventually he'll snap because everyone that is the coach of the Jets loses. It doesn't matter who it is.
It doesn't matter who it is. Eventually, they do all lose. Woody was asked about Aaron Rodgers as well. Of course, there was all those reports that Woody doesn't like Aaron anymore and wanted to bench him and all that during last year. Woody says he's going to let Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji decide what they want to do. He's allegedly staying out of it when it comes to the
Good
court.
luck.
Muji, baby. First, we're going to hear from him in a second, but first, here's Woody. So why are things going to be different this time? Another coach, another general manager? What do you say, Woody?
We've been here before. Why will it be different this time? Why will there be winning as far as the New York Jets are concerned?
Did you see the two guys that we just introduced?
Yes.
That's why. And it starts from that. We've got to build. It's with people. You know, if you want to have sustained success, you have to have the right people in the locker room. And so it's the right people and motivated and led by the right coach and coaches. And so that's why we're changing it. I feel very good about it. I think there is talent on the team, and we'll see how that all organizes itself in the next few weeks. But I feel very good about it.
Listen, I don't deny that Glenn is a strong choice. He's got, Jet vibes. He's been there. He's played for the Jets. He's the perfect guy to give it a try. Now, I am not going to sit here and act like they've made – did you see these two guys that we just had in there? No one's ever heard of Muji. No one. People in Denver don't even know who he is. He was not the GM. He was the, GM in training. And that's what these teams do. They go recycle guys that are assistants somewhere else. It's the same way with head coaching. They hire assistants. They just hired Glenn. He was an assistant. He was the defensive coordinator. And the GM, no one's ever heard of him. So now all of a sudden he's a world-changing executive, and he's going to turn the Jets on their ear and make them a champion. Calm down. I give Glenn, and let me say this, I give him a better chance than the other guy. And here's another thought. I don't believe for 1 minute that Aaron Glenn wanted that white nerd GM they hired to be his GM. I bet for the life of me he wanted some brother that he knows in the NFL, you heard me, a brother to be the GM of the Jets. He didn't want some nerdy white guy he's never heard of. He hadn't heard of him either. I will bet my bottom dollar that he's never heard of Muji. He didn't have time to hear who Muji is out in Denver going through, potty training with the Broncos, okay? He only knows Dan Campbell and coaching the Lions defense. And he did a damn good job at that. I guarantee he wanted nothing to do with that white boy. I bet my life on it. All that phony-ass photo sessions yesterday with him and that white guy. Who are you kidding? You're not fooling me.
Here is Darren Muji. Expect the Jets to win immediately, he says.
Shut up.
Darren, can this team win now?
I believe so.
When you say now, what level do you think you can win at?
We're going to win games. I think you felt that from AG, the talented players. We're going to win games here.
We're going to win games. We're going to win games here.
This
That's
guy better
Darren.
watch his step. He better watch his step because they will eat him alive. First of all, you might as well go to a cowboy ranch out in the Rockies in Estes Park and ride on a horse and let the horse eat hay all day than to think that you're waltzing into this town and you're going to start guaranteeing wins in New York City when you've been living in the thin air. Man, you have breathed too much of that high-altitude air, fresh air, to think you're coming into this cesspool and winning anything. We're going to win game. We're going to win a tie. Shut up. Honestly, they will eat him alive. Alive. They will eat him he'll be gone. 1 minute he'll be there, and the next minute they'll be literally in the media's stomach. They'll eat him alive like cannibals. I'm not kidding. He must be tripping. You don't come into this town and guarantee anything because you will die a very quick death. I am telling you.
One of the weirdest nicknames I've heard in fighting. There's people have some strange nicknames at times, but the Lemon Killer. What do you even make of that? What is that about?
I don't even know what that means, but I'm gonna squeeze him like a lemon on the day we fight, and he's gonna pop.
Only on SportsGrid.
We're going to get rid of all the badness, if you will, over the past few decades for the Raiders and set yourself up for the future. It's a horrible job to take if you expect to win, but it's not a bad paying gig, so go ahead and take it.
With an owner in Mark Davis who has continued to make bad decision after bad decision. Does Pete Carroll leave a culture behind that Joe Brady in 2 to 3 years takes over?
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
He did nothing for 5 weeks. So he's becoming his brother. So I don't want to hear about how great TJ Watt is with his 0 playoff wins. And he's the first guy to admit it. He comes right out and says, I've never won a playoff game. I don't matter. All right, at least we all know who the best player on the team is. It's George Pickens. If you don't believe that, well, then screw you, too.
Ferrall, Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
We'll see if they get McCain back. Kelly Oubre, Yabusele's been good. Caleb Martin's a defensive specialist. Andre Drummond can still give you, almost a double-double at any point. I can't go south on this team. And now you're giving it to me at 2-1 to make the playoffs? To be in the Final 8? Folks, give me the Philadelphia 76ers to make the playoffs at plus 210.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
We continue on with the hires in the NFL in the front offices and coaching ranks.
Let's stop at Jacksonville next. This Liam Cohen, he's a strange bird that they hired down there for the Jags. Let's first hear him what he expects with this team, which already, as we know, have a lot of talent on it. Trevor Lawrence, etc. Here's Liam Cohen.
It takes complementary football at all 3 phases to be great. Offense, defense, and special teams. How do we want to play the game? And that's fast.
Oh, God.
Fundamentally sound, attacking, situational masters, and tough, both mentally and physically. You see players in the room right here, guys that I've had conversations with already. It will always be about you. Always. It is players over plays. How do we make this as much about the players and making this about bringing out the best in you? That's what this is about.
Do you think
what is happening here? Now, listen, this is what's wrong with sports. These press conferences. Like, honestly, what is happening here? Like, where listening to coaches and GMs talk in these press conferences, they all say the same thing year after year after year, press conference after press conference, and it's all just a spinning cycle of nonsense and just ridiculousness. It really is. Like, it's unbelievable. I don't know what I should expect them to say, but they all sound the same. It's embarrassing. Like, at some level, I feel like, if I ran a team, I'd be like, yeah, we're not going to do a press conference. We're going to get busy and start practicing. There's not going to be any press conference. In fact, I own the team. I don't have a problem with Jerry. Like, at some point where you just would be like, yeah, we're not going to talk and make predictions and say things like we're going to win here in New York from the jump. Or listening to this guy talking about the players. Let me tell you something, Liam. The players in Jacksonville have been hairdryer city for a while. Okay? So you're talking about a crap load of players with no results. None. I know Gabe said they're going to win and all this other stuff. They suck. Okay? So listening to that guy talk about how much he loves them, he's known the players for literally 10 minutes, and he's acting like he's sleeping with them. I mean, honestly, it's embarrassing. I don't even know. Like, I can't even take it as I'm a relatively clever fella. I just can't sit around and listen to it. Like, listening to people talk about sports is bad enough. Listening to coaches tell me things when they're just football coaches is another one. I feel like, did all those guys like skip school or something at some point in their life and never go because they babble on about nothing? Honestly.
They do babble on about nothing. And he's catching a little flack for this one, or he's getting laughed at a little bit here. Of course, as we know, Jacksonville is in Duval County, home of the Jaguars. Duval.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life, this Duval stuff. Who cares?
Liam, I guess, looked a little creepy in how he said Duval at the end of his press conference yesterday.
Jacksonville, the community. Duval.
Where do they find these guys? Like, where do they find these guys? How do you imagine having that guy? You interview him multiple times, and you're like, "This is the guy." Like, I'm all in on this guy.
Remember the other one that was bad was Wade County, when they started calling Miami Wade County.
Yeah, Wade. Yeah.
Listen, here's a little tip for you. What do I give a rat's ass about where anyone lives in any county anywhere? Like, do you care literally that Carver High and Mavi and I live in New York City? Does anyone really care? Not like you don't care, do you? Because I hope you don't.
No.
I don't care where you live. I don't care what county you live in. How about when they do the politics and they spend the whole night in the election and they talk about all these counties nobody's ever heard of? Oh, they got a situation brewing over here in Forsyth County. F Forsyth County, okay? Like, can I get a drink over here and a steak? I don't care about where you live or your county or your politics or anything. Duval, is that not the dumbest thing? I have been listening to this Duval County bullshit since before Christ. What do I give a flying F about Duval? I care more about Bobby Duval. Okay? Thanks so much, morons. No one. What do I give an F?
I suppose the main event yesterday was the Cowboys' introduction of Brian Schottenheimer, which clocked in at just over an hour between Jerry, Steven, and Coach Brian. We'll start with Jerry. A lot of people saying Jerry going out on a limb, taking a guy who's never been a head coach before, longtime assistant. Jerry agrees with you. He is taking a big risk.
Now, I get my proverbial ass kicked over needing people in my comfort zone. Without this thing being about me in any way, if you don't think I can't operate out of my comfort zone, you're so wrong. It's unbelievable. This is as big a risk as you could take.
Come on.
As big a risk as you could take. No head coaching experience. Now, let me share something with you. With all of that, you've just heard him reference his osmosis, his family. Anybody in this room that doesn't believe the apple doesn't go far from the tree has missed it someplace down the road, especially if there was an effort to make it that way. And
so
there was an effort.
He's hired Marty's ghost.
But then you go around to the countless numbers of coaches that Schotty has served on staff with and been around, the countless players. How often do you have someone that has 25, I'm going to say 25, it may be 26, of years of working through the human relationship and aspiring to learn, of have his ears and eyes wide open and looking for techniques and looking for things that make coaches better.
Look at Carver. Honestly, what just happened to us today? This has been a great show with all of this nonsense. Like,
it gets better. I got more.
Oh God.
I'm not done. I got more.
Give me more, then. I need more.
I'm not done with Dallas. I got a few more, and then I'm going to get to Cattle after that.
this guy Ovechkin, how he was injured and missed all that time, and the fact that he's still on pace to pass Gretzky.
I think everybody's rooting for Ovechkin at this point in time. And I think he'll do it as well. So it's a feat that no one ever thought Scotty would be broken. It's going to be broken, and it's probably going to be broken because, he's not going to stop shooting.
Ferrall, coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
We all know MVPs don't win the Super Bowl. It's not about MVPs, man. The only MVP, fine. Win the MVP of the Super Bowl. Nobody cares about the MVP of the regular season besides people that bet on it, the actual player themselves, and their agent that's getting a cut of the bonus money. Other than that, who cares? What do you care who wins the MVP? Like I said, unless you bet on it. Right? If you bet on it, fine. Then I guess you care.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
They have a lot of hopes, and they thought last year they were turning the corner. Even early this year, they start turning the corner, and then you lose 13 games in a row.
Edmonton chipped away, got a late goal, won the game 4-3. I felt like they dominated the third period. They moved the puck on that power play. It was an exceptional hockey game. It went over the total.
Only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It just keeps getting better by the minute on this C2C with the NFL skinny.
So Jerry kept going and going from that clip that I just played you. And eventually, as he still tried to tell you about how he's so great at finding head coaches, let's just say he got very, very emotional.
Oh, no.
Jerry.
So I've seen it when I was a pup.
Oh, yeah.
I have a good background in the makeup of what a coach is. To think that you could make a decision in an interview and not have talked, if you didn't and hadn't ever communicated or had a visit, I wouldn't dare have had an interview unless I talked to many, many people.
What the hell is he talking about? What is he saying? This was an hour long. These people were up there doing this. Can you imagine an hour of the three of them up there? And here's Brian, who's now the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. He loves Dak Prescott, and yes, he expects to win and win big in Dallas.
He's going to play elite level football, and he's going to lead us to championships. And that's because of the way he works, the way he prepares. This guy prepares different. Ed, he does. He prepares different. This guy.
You mean with all those losses?
I'll be coming down late at night and trying to get something to drink, and I just have to move around because my eyes are bugging out from watching video. And he's still in the building doing his, I guess it's hot, cold therapy, whatever that is. I don't do that. But we got the right guy. And working closely with him and these other players.
Oh, my God.
We're going to win. And we're going to win a championship. Otherwise, why are we doing it?
For the money. Anyway, let's go to the next one, the idiot's son. Here we go.
All right, so for the whole entire hour, somebody actually clocked this. Steven only talked for about 4 or 4.5 minutes, but he had the most exciting stuff of the entire hour that they were up there. This is the clip that has really ruffled the feathers of Cowboy fans. Apparently, Stephen Jones doesn't think that they've been in a championship drought over the last 30 years because he decided to use the air quotes when talking about it. Here we go.
Obviously, we're also evaluating where it didn't go right, in terms of, this drought that people say we're in terms of a championship game or a Super Bowl.
Christ, bro.
What?
He must be living in a time warp. Like, they just flat out are awful, and they haven't won in forever, and he doesn't think it happened? Listen, no wonder he doesn't run a team. Like, his dad won't let him have power because he's an idiot. Obviously.
He was
wait till you see how bad they are when his dad dies. Wait till you see how bad it gets when his dad dies. Because we've seen that at every level. We're seeing it with the Raiders. We're seeing it with the Steelers. I mean, it's every level. Like, trust me. And it'll be the same thing in Detroit when that old lady kicks. Trust me. I'm telling you, they just hand it right down to the kids, and then they butcher it.
He was full-blown Kendall Roy in that thing yesterday.
We got him in the Kendall Roy Club.
The whole
Kendall
thing.
Roy Club.
He was full-blown
We got him
Kendall
in the Kendall Roy Club.
Like, nobody cheered for him when he was introduced. Like, they were like, this is Jerry Jones. Blah, 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 blah. This is Brian Schottenheimer, the new head coach. Stephen Jones, senior vice president, blah, blah, blah. The room was silent, and finally Jerry started clapping his hands a little bit to get everybody to cheer. I mean, geez, it's too much.
Stepchild.
And let's add more. You want to get more clowns in the building? Why not? Matt Eberflus is official now.
No,
He's the
Dental
new defensive
Floss
coordinator.
is back.
Dental Floss back now. He was a linebacker coach with the Cowboys back in the day. So little homecoming for Matt. Down in Big D to get things going. So there you go.
He may be the top shelf status guy for coaches that were assistants that got the big head coaching job because they were white and that effed it up. Like, he was awful. He was top shelf status. The privileged white guy syndrome.
We will finish this off for all these coaches yesterday with Pete Carroll in Vegas when we come back. We'll hear from Pete about how he's the oldest coach in the league.
Get out your AARP cards. Honest to Christ. You got your Social Security checks yet, Pete?
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Jimmy Butler has spread his cancer all over the Heat, and he has ruined their season. I do believe they'll never recover from this disastrous guy that is, purged on him. I mean, he's ruined. Like, they don't matter anymore at all. Like, I watched them play last night. They suck.
Ferrall, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
They have a lot of hopes, and they thought last year they were turning the corner. Even early this year they start turning the corner, and then you lose 13 games in a row.
Edmonton chipped away, got a late goal, won the game 4-3. I felt like they dominated the third period. They moved the puck on that power play. It was an exceptional hockey game. It went over the total.
Only on SportsGrid.